All right, so today we're going to be talking about decimals. We haven't done decimals yet this year, but we will be working with them for the next couple of weeks. So for our first little lesson on decimals here, we're just going to be talking about the place value. So I made this little chart, and if you read on the top of the chart, right here we have hundreds, then tens, and ones. Let's just look at those for a minute before we go to the other ones. So if I have a number, let's say I have 513. That's my number. We know that this 5 is in the hundreds place. We know that this 1 is in the tens place. And then this 3 is in the ones place. Okay? So we know that already. We've learned that already. But what about over here, behind the decimal point? Well, let's say, let me put a decimal point right here behind our 513. I'm making it nice and big so you can see. Let's say I have 513, and then behind the decimal point, I have a 2, and a 4, and a 7. So, now we're going to fill in these numbers here. So the 2 would be in the tenths place here. The 4 would be in the hundredths place right here. And our 7 would be in the thousandths place. So if you notice the 2, the 4, and the 7 behind the decimal point here, the tenths, all of them end with this THS. That's how we know that they're behind the decimal point. So how do we read this number? Well, we know that this first part here is 513. Now, the decimal point, a lot of people want to say point, 513.247. And that's not technically incorrect, but the way we're going to say it is 513 and, so we're going to say and when we see the decimal point, 247 thousandths. So 513 and 247 thousandths. The reason we say thousandths is because that 7 is our last digit behind the decimal point, and so we say what place that one is in. And I'm just going to erase this number here, and we'll try one more. Got to erase it without erasing my chart. There we go. Okay, so let's try this number. Let's try a 7, our decimal point, a 1, and a 2. Well, I know my 7 needs to go in the ones place. The 1 is going to be in the tenths place. That's the first one behind the decimal. And the 2 is going to be in the hundredths place. And that's our last digit. So we would read this like this. 7 and 12 hundredths. 7 and 12 hundredths. So we say this number, and since the 2 is in the last digit and it's in the hundredths place, we say 7 and 12 hundredths. Okay, let me go to the math paper for Monday. So we're talking about place value of decimals. Number 1, they've already done for us. Number 1, they have 0 and 287 thousandths, but they have the 8 underlined, so they want us to find the value of the underlined digit. So 8 is in the hundredths place, so it would be 8 hundredths. That would be our answer right here. And they put or 0 and 8 hundredths with just the 8 in there. Turn this up just a little bit. There we go. Okay, so let's do number 2. We have 5 and 349 thousandths, and they have the 3 underlined. So we have to think, what place is that 3 in? Well, the 3 is in the tenths place, so we're going to say 3 tenths. Do not forget the THS, because if you say 3 tens, that will be incorrect. It's tenths. Now, you do not have to do this part for the rest of these. I just want the word form. So, do the rest, 3 through 6. Tell me what the value of that underlined digit is. But before you do that, look at numbers 7, 8, 9, and 10. It says, write the number in 2 other forms. All I want you to do is write the word form. And the word form just means exactly how we say it. So, number 7, we have a 0, and then our decimal, and then a 3, 2, 6. When we have a 0, we don't necessarily need to say 0. You can if you want to, but you do not have to. So, the last digit is the 6, and I know that that 6 is in the thousandths place. So, this is how we would write word form for number 7. 300 26 oops, spelled that wrong, excuse me, 326, that's our number right there, right? Now we said the 6 was in the thousandths place, so I just have to add thousandths, 326 thousandths. That would be our word form. So finish the rest of those, and then you may cross out number 13. We are not doing number 13. And then you can cross out number 12. We are not doing number 12. So that is your assignment for this first lesson on decimals. If you have any questions, definitely let me know.